We're doing small office building, conventional steel framing. First thing I'm going to do is grid work. One way to do it is via array. So select the first grid that you did. I need 5 elements. I'm not grouping them. From first to second, the distance will be 6 meters. Horizontal grid. Escape, escape. Left, left. I'll rename it to A. Array again. This time I need 4 elements. From first to second, distance 470. Well, let's keep 480. That's my grid. I'll go to self elevation. In self elevation I'm going to create additional levels, but first I'm dropping this one to 370, let's say. Oh, sorry. 370. And array, we need 3 elements this time, from first to second, 370. Now I have to assign floor plans to it because it didn't generate floor plans. So under view, select floor plans and assign them to datums 3 and 4. Shift 3 and 4. Now you can see that no grid is visible in this view, so make sure you're stretching 3D extents so they intersect with datums. Go to opposite or actually perpendicular elevation, so let's say west, do the same. Also in this elevation under architecture tab I will create additional level, pick lines, let's say 1200 for frost protection, escape, escape, click, left click. Sorry, I added some levels here, that's a mistake here. FTG, yes, and we basically have our grid work. Back to level 1, I'm going to create a set of structural columns. Make sure you're running vertical option, select all grids using cross pick, finish, and recheck this on 3D view. So you have your columns, escape, escape. Now I'm going to select all of them and I'm going to make sure that they're going from level 1, base offset minus 400 to cover my column base under concrete slab, top offset, first of all top level 4, offset let's say minus 300 to accommodate for beams, and apply. Now I'm going to change one of those columns, edit type, load, metric libraries. I'm looking for structural columns, steel, HSS sections. So let's look for 200 by 200 section square. So for example this will be a good size here, 203 by 15.9. So this column is revised. Now I'm selecting all other columns in W style. So right click on one that's in question, select all instances visible in the project and switch them to HSS. So this is the structural portion well intact. Now let's go back to footing level, and in footing plan I'm going to create a set of architectural columns, square layout, I'm going to place it somewhere here. Escape, escape. Make sure that this column is running from footing 1 to level 1 minus 400. Apply. Now I'm going to actually align it with my grid lines. And I'm going to make array out of it. So select array, 5 elements from grid line 1 to grid line 2. Now I'm going to select this particular type, right click, select all instances visible in this view, array, and we need 4 sets like this between those two grid lines. Now I'm going to select under structure tab isolated type of footing, but I have to load it first. So I'm going to load it from structural foundations. That's the type of footing here. Open, place it somewhere here. This happens because you can't see it. Escape, escape, and look at properties of this view. One of them would be view range. Edit view range, and in this particular case switch view depth to unlimited, and you can see your footing. I want you to actually edit this type and make your own. Make duplicate, and this will be a square layout, so 1200 by 1200. I'm just changing the name here, and then on properties I'm revising length to 1200. And I'm going to align it again with my grid work. I'll use the same technique. Select array, agree to this location from grid line. Do not group them. You need 5 elements horizontal, grid line to grid line. Now I'm going to right click, select all instances in entire project, and I need array, 4 sets at this time in this direction. Check it in 3D. So now you have your columns, you have your concrete pad, and you have your concrete pier. The next step on level 2, I'm going to create first structural bay. So I'll, for example, take 1, 2 CD as my first framing bay. I'm going to create under structure tab a single beam between those two grid lines here and here. If I want to see it, and escape, escape. To make sure I can see it here, I'll switch to fine level of detail, and I can see them shaded. Now I'm going for beam system. This time I'm going to select supports. My first beam, my second beam, and I have to close this structural field by simply sketching. Last thing, beam direction should be going this way, and finish it. Check it in 3D again. So the next thing I'd like to do is revise framing members to open web steel joist. Edit type. Well, before I attempt to edit type, I have to unpin it. So unpin the element, edit type, load, and go to structural framing. So in libraries you have to find structural framing library, and you're looking for steel, and look for MK series joist rod web. So this one, for example. Open it and look for, let's say, 16 inch, so something in that range, 457 by 10.7. So So first one is replaced, repin it, and then let's do the following. Let's select the framing system. Let's change spacing to, for example, 900, which is kind of a standard for steel deck, and change your beam type from this one to the one that you just loaded. And here's your beginnings of your framing. Well, maybe I'll change spacing to 800. And now I'm just going to select this system and I'm going to array it again. So here's the way I would approach this. I'll select via window pick. Via window pick, I'm going to select a number of elements here. I'm going to filter out what I don't need. So columns, no. Beam systems, yes. Structural foundations, no. Framing, yes. Framing, yes. Okay. Now I'm going press and hold Shift to deselect this beam here. And now I'm going to level 2. And I'm going to array it. I will need 1, 2, 3 elements like this. They're not grouped and they're moved from grid line D to grid line C. Now I'm going to select again, but I'll do this selection in 3D view just to make sure. So look, maybe let's close hidden windows and let's reopen 3D view and let's WT, so we have NZ8, so we have two views side by side. I'll be working from 3D view and 2D view. In 3D view I'm going to select structural framing. Now I'm going to actually filter it again and make sure that we don't have columns. Yes. Structural columns, no. Foundations, no. Framing, yes. Framing, yes. Confirm. Going back to this view. Array. We need 1, 2, 3, 4 elements. Move from second to first to second. And your first floor is framed. Now I'm going to take this system out because I need my stair openings here. But I'll actually frame additional beams on those two grid lines. So beam in this direction and additional beam in this direction. And escape. So let's recheck. What's happening with my opening here. So I effectively have a tie joist here and here, but I'd like to replace it with my W. And this one as well. Alright, so here's my opening for stairs. The rest is framed in joists. Now I'm going to do the following. I'm going to actually modify in the section view. switch to fine resolution, and you'll understand right away that this is not true. You will need to adjust all your framing, all your open web steel joists by the joist shoe depth, so the joist sits on the top of steel. So let's have a look how we can do it the fastest way. I'll do the following. I'll select via right click all instances in the entire project of my framing, and on elevation I'm going to add 64 millimeters, which is the joist depth, and then if you really zoom ZZ into the beam support, you will see that now you have joists sitting properly on steel flange. I also want to make sure that I have proper distance to accommodate my floor, so I will do the following. I will select all my beams, right click, all instances in the entire project, and I'll make sure that they drop actually by 100 front and back. Minus 100, my apologies. If I also subtract, so one more time, select all instances in the entire project and update this to minus 164 front and back, I'm getting space for my concrete slab. So if I go to level 2, I'm going to sketch my floor under architecture tab, floor, edit type, make duplicate, name it 100 thick, that's your standard thickness, and then edit your structure to 100. And sketch the outline of your building. So I'll take it from face of column. No, actually faster way, I'll use rectangular shape. This way here. Here. Then I have to cut the opening for my stairs. So I'm just tracing at the face of HSS column effectively. Split. Trim. And finish. Check it in 3D. It's a pretty decent framing system. One thing that you might want to change is level of this steel. You want to bring it up by 64 again, so it actually pops under concrete. So this should be minus 100. And the other end should be also minus 100. You see, so that's your proper condition. Do the same here. If this is already done, here is probably your best bet. Select the entire framing system, copy to clipboard, paste a line, to selected levels. So we have to put it on level 3 and level 4. Now, don't forget that this here should not be floor but roof, and also we need something on the ground, so let's select this slab, copy, paste a line to selected levels, put it on level 1, and then modify it back to, or swap the type back to 150, which is your standard 6-inch slab. Okay, if you want to get fancy, select this floor and delete, and then let's go to level 4, and on that level 4 let's sketch a roof by footprint, no definition of slope, trace, thickness of the roof 400, well, edit type, make duplicate, let's run a 100 thick standard steel deck with insulation. And let's use the same sketching method. And finish it. Let's go back to section view. I think I just forgot to change my structure of this new roof to 100. Okay. Let's have a look in 3D. So here's the beginning of your framing system.